Hello, artists. I have recently been getting caught up in the world of fine art and line art. So when I look at line art, I think hairline stringers. Let's go ahead and tackle the topic of hairline stringers. Now, this is usually the part of the class where I go, our colors for today are, but in this case, I want to talk a little bit about preparation and colors and materials. So I originally in my mind was thinking, ooh, I really want to make this bead out of like an ivory. I wanted that antique-y look, and I wanted an ivory with the enamel over it. But I know that dark ivory can sometimes be reactive, meaning that it turns kind of gray. I think if you put a dot of opaque turquoise over dark ivory, you'll get this kind of gray ring around it. And when you put certain enamels over dark ivory, they turn gray. So I was a little worried about that, and I decided to do a test bead. And, I'm glad I did. This bead right here is the dark ivory. This one is light ivory, and this is the Creation is Messy piece. They're white. And I'm happy I did it because, number one, now I know that the amethyst over the dark ivory does not turn gray or ucky, but it was a little muddy for me, and I wasn't quite sure I wanted to do it. The amethyst over the light ivory, it did well too. It still was a little dark, I don't know. I'm not sure I liked it so much. So I decided to go with the Creation is Messy piece. The amethyst actually looks amethyst. So, yeah, I'm glad I did these little test beads. And when you guys are doing complex designs in your beads, feel free to do some testing first. Keep in mind that glass, sometimes it plays well with other glass and sometimes it doesn't. So, especially with the enamels. So go ahead and just make little barrels and sprinkle some enamels on it and see what happens. Okay, so we're going to use Creation is Messy piece for our base bead. The enamel, of course, is enamel for a Fetre Moretti glass, transparent amethyst. This is from, of course, our friends at Thompson Enamel here in the U.S. It's 80 mesh. It looks like that. And I'm going to use just my little sifter to sift it on. Now, hairline stringers. These little suckers, I have been playing with them for a very long time, and I've been learning a lot about control of hairline stringers because I can't even pick them up. Some of them are so thin because they're really, really thin, like a piece of hair. And trying to control a piece of hair in the flame is really, really hard. And no matter how much I turn down my torch or I get my bead hot, I have issues. And I think it's just because, practice. So what I have found that really, really helps is to encase my hairline stringers with clear. And just that added little stiffness really helps with control. Because gosh dang it, I need control. So, we're going to go through, I'm going to actually do an encasing for you and pull these hairline stringers and show you how to do it because there's a little method to my madness here. The other thing I wanted to say, which again, I'm glad I pulled some test stringers. This is Creation is Messy Hades. And it was actually the second black that I pulled out of my rack. I said I wanted black outlines because line art is black, and I ran to my rack and I just grabbed a color, a black, and what I grabbed was Creation is Messy Onyx. and I put the encasing on it. I encased it with Creationist Messy Clear just to keep everything from the same manufacturer. And look what happened to the onyx when I pulled it really, really fine. I got this kind of light, well, it's not light blue. It's more of this cobalt blue. And I looked at it and I thought, oh my gosh, that looks like I encased sacre bleu and not onyx. So I went back to my rack, and that's when I grabbed the Hades, because I know their Hades is the blackest of black. And I encased that in the CIM Clear, and that's when I got my true black. So let me show you side by side how these guys look. But I was like, wow, that's really interesting that when you pull the onyx really, really thin, it turns blue. And when you pull the Hades really, really thin, it stays black. So FYI, that it doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It just means they're different. And yeah, I thought this was good information to know. Okay, stringers, base bead, enamels. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, I just have some leftover Dandelion Murini. We're going to use that on our bead, and I'm going to crunch it with my standard crunch, and I think we're ready to get started. Of course, enamels, wet paper towels, lay them down for dust control, have your N95 mask ready to go, and let's get to work. Here we go. So I have my Hades that I'm just warming up here, and I have a rod of Creation is Messy Clear. Now, you don't need a lot of encasing. My goal on encasing the black is that clear is there for support, but I don't want anybody to see it on my bead. So we're going to do a very thin layer of encasing, which is basically one wrap of clear. Go ahead, get your wrap down just like so. And I'm trying to keep it the same diameter, but yeah, that's all you're gonna need. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna marver that clear down, and as you marver, it'll spread out a little bit on the black, but it's just gonna be a very thin layer of clear. And I don't know, I'm sure the other people who do these fine line work, they're better at it than me. But all I can say is, guys, this helps me a lot. A whole lot. Okay, so there you go. You can see how that encasing just kind of spread out a bit. And I'm telling you, this is going to give us a lot of stringers. But it's a nice thin layer. Okay, now for pulling. That first pull, I don't have any clear on here, so I'm just going to smush it down. Try to make myself a little handle. Make sure that the clear is touching the black. And I just give myself a little poofy handle here so we can start pulling. Oh, that's an ugly little handle. Okay, now when I'm heating this up, you don't have to heat up the entire area, because again, we're working on such a small level that I just heat up like right in here, this very, very first part. And you want to get it pretty dang hot. That still doesn't look even to me. Feel free to manipulate this glass until it listens to you and does what you want it. Dang it. Okay, here we go. I got that end. And again, speed and heat. So we got it nice and hot. I'm going to grab it and pull. Pretty quick. And look how skinny it is. Oh my God, and it goes on forever. All right, that's good right there. Cut it off, set it down. Now this end here, I kind of use it as a little handle, the thicker end. And it just helps. All right, so now I'm going to heat right here in this junction, right here where the taper starts. And you know, you can aim your flame as best you can. Just don't worry about the back end. Wow, that one's really small. Now, one thing I have not mastered yet is getting consistent sizes. I think that's just a matter of how much heat and how fast you pull it. But I'm not going to worry about it because I know I'm not that good at it. See, I just like lost my grip on that one, so it's going to be curly. And we get a lot of cane out of just one loop of clear. Hang on to that little nubby on the end or it's going to go pew. Okay. So that's like 4 canes right now, and I still have a little bit of clear here. All right, let's do this. Will be the last one. And there you go, guys. Those are hairline stringers. My way. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. I just know that it really helps me. Here we go. Okay, I got my bead crunched out. It's a little bit lopsided here. But you know what? Line art is abstract. So yeah, I planned it like this. I planned to crunch it lopsided like that. All right, I'm getting a little scoop of the enamel in my sifter, and I'm just gonna heat up my bead. I think I'm gonna tackle this one side at a time. Over the wet paper towel, scratch that little coil part, and there we go. I don't want a lot of this. Actually, what I want is I want a lot on the top where the flower's gonna go, and not a lot towards the bottom. I want that really wispy, powdery look, and I think I got it right there. Ooh, it doesn't take much, does it, you guys? Okay, I like it. Dump out my sifter, one-handed, put the lid back on the enamel. Dust control, everyone. Always thinking dust control when you're working with enamels. Okay, next. Let's tackle these little stringers. I'm gonna turn my torch down, way down, okay? And one of the things I noticed when you turn your torch way down like this, you get a sharper point on your flame. And when you're working with these little teeny stringers, having a really like finite line is great. All right, I'm gonna start off here and I'm just gonna lay, this is just the stem. You know, we're gonna go straight up, just like so. And then I'm going to take a finer one. Now, okay, 6 one way, half dozen another. When you're working with hairline stringers, some people say heat up the bead and then put the stringer on the hot bead, and the heat from the bead will melt the stringer. And that makes a lot of sense. And sometimes I do that. On my really, really, really fine stringers, that's what I'll do. I'll heat up a portion of the bead till it glows. I'll pull it out, put the stringer down, and it does kind of melt on the hot bead. So that's one way to try it. And then the other way to try it is just go ahead, pick a spot, and put that stringer kind of to the side of the flame, and it'll melt down. And you'll find the sweet spots, you guys. Don't sweat it. All right, I'm gonna put some little ones right down the center. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Maybe a dandelion. And I do marver these little baby guys down because they will pop off. And it seems like they pop off a lot more than the thicker stringers or the thicker dots because there's less material. And when there's less material, thermal shock happens faster. Okay, let's do a little one right there. I will say this about line art. It goes really fast. And I think I might actually be happy with this. Okay, I'm happy with it. Look, I used like one stringer. I got all these stringers. Ooh, I'm going to be doing a lot of line art in the future. I see it. Beads of courage, kids. It's coming. You're going to get a lot of line art. All right, now for the Murini. And of course, I didn't get my Murini string, my clear stringer. Hang on 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, bead is nice and warm. I turned my torch up a little bit now just to help keep my bead warm because I'm still like panicked that I'm going to mess up my bead and it's going to crack. Oh my God, I just know it. Okay, let's pick a spot. I'm not going to put Murini on all the lines. I'm just going to pick several little spots. And I forgot to tell you guys, you're going to need a little stringer of clear for your Murini glue, and because I'm going to put the little caps on the Murini. Okay, that's good. Now, Murinis. These are just leftovers from my dandelion Murini, which is now included in my basic Murini class. That's on Udemy and Etsy, if you're so inclined. One little Murini there. Let's go to the next part. One there. Just put it down on that little blob of clear glue. Heat it up. Heat up the blob. Oops, and make sure it goes down flat and not sideways. And if it goes down sideways, just pull it off and start over. Heat up the blob. There it goes, down like that. There it goes. Down like that, and then one more. Oh, oh, he fell off. Dang you, little guy, come back here. Hey, you know what? Stuff like this happens, you guys. Don't let it panic you. Just regroup. That's all you got to do is regroup. Okay, Murinis are on. Now let's put on our little cappy caps and see if we can smush these guys out a bit. I tell you what, I just want to say that pickling clear glass was a moment in my life. I am so happy I pickled all of my clear because it is so beautiful now. Crystalline, clear, clarity, all those clear words. All right, got my little caps on, and now I'm going to take my dental tool and I am just going to lightly press down on the clear. Don't press the Murini down. Just kind of sculpt the clear over the top of the Murini. Have your water dish ready so you can cool off your tool. And it's hard to show on the screen, but when you're working on this, you can really see where the clear ends and where the Murini begins. And so we're only poking down the clear. And I start with, I poke down like the top, just kind of flatten the top out a bit. And then I will sculpt the sides of the clear down the sides of the Murini. Okay, 2 more to go. Just a little tap on the top, very, very gentle. Don't manhandle the Murini. And then just kind of sculpt down the top. And there we go. All right, you guys, I think that's our bead. Little dandelion bead, little abstract line art. Probably should have used a darker color of the amethyst so the Murini stands out more. But yeah, I like it. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.